Hey everybody, welcome to our next video in the series of learning HTML. Today we're going to be talking about the next topic in our series here, which is how to make lists. And as we make lists, there's three different kinds of lists that we worry about. This document right here should be posted for you, and this outlines kind of the different tags that you would use. So lists, there are three general that we use, really two that we use, and one I'm just going to demonstrate because it is an option that you can use. The first one, ordered lists, which are numbered lists. Unordered lists are bulleted lists. Those are the two main type. And description lists are like if you have a list of terms or something like that. That's what a description list is. And those are a little weird. I'll show it to you, but in truthfulness, we are probably not going to use it much at all. So as for HTML, there are in this one multiple tags to make this work. Generally, there are two. You have a container, which defines where your list starts and stops. And then you use this li to add items to the list. So let's go ahead. I think the best way to do this one really is to demonstrate it. So let's go ahead and get into Notepad. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new file to start. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to save. We're going to define our language as HTML. And it doesn't like it when you save it. We have to type a little bit of code first. So you should have your skeleton open. If not, I do believe I have posted this for you as well. Remember, Control A selects all, Control C copies it, and we're just going to put this in our new document. At this point, we should go ahead and we should be able to do save. And we're just going to save this inside of your folder. And I'm going to save this as, this is the fourth video in our series. And we'll just call this one lists. And remember, HTML should say hypertext markup language down there as file type. And everything should be good. So then go ahead and we'll make the changes that we need to do. Put your name, put the date you're doing this, and this is going to be covering right here, the first introduction to lists. So for this one then, our title will be List Intro. And as well as the assignment name will be List Intro. Then you can go ahead and you can pause the video and make sure that you have all of these things filled out as you need to. All that created by the general document info here, and then our paragraph tag. And then after you have that all set up, go ahead and start it back up, and we're going to get into lists. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our lists. As I told you before, there are three different times. You don't need to put all those enters. I'm just trying to move it on the screen as I usually do. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put a little header, say numbered lists, and then just put OL tag. So that's just a reminder to us that numbered lists actually do indeed use that OL tag. So for the list, we have two different things that we need. First, we're writing a numbered list, so we use that OL tag, like we reminded ourselves. So when you save this, and then you go to preview this in your default viewer, you'll notice that you have the H3, but you don't have anything else yet. Just the OL tag by itself does not do anything. It is just a container. And what it does is it contains all the elements for our list. So once we add a list item, with the LI tag, and we'll say that this is our first item. Then you could go and you can just preview again, and you see that it adds a number 1, my item 1. So you notice we did not type the number 1. The number 1 is automatically added because remember this is an ordered list. So when we add items to this list, so if we add pizza and then maybe broccoli, if I spell broccoli wrong, just ignore that. I might have done that. And we just preview it, you'll notice that those items are numbered. We didn't type the number, they are automatically numbered as part of the list. So one helpful thing for list, something I'm going to show you, and if you're not listening to the video and you're just watching, you're going to miss out on this. In our settings, what we did for our preferences is that when we're editing, we enable this control click. Well, what that allows us to do is when you hold down the control button and you click, what you can do is you can actually add multiple tags at once. And lists are a spectacular demonstration of why you would want to use this, because when you use this control click shortcut, you don't have to type all the LI tags. It gets repetitive. So then you can just edit multiple lines as long as you're typing the same thing. And then, of course, as we go and we preview that, you should be able to see that all those items were added as numbered items in there. Look at all that. It's wonderful. Okay, so let's go on. First off, we'll put HR, which is the line on the page. And then we'll put another H3. So this is bulleted lists. So bulleted lists are also called unordered lists, which is why it is UL. So for our bulleted list, what we're going to do is the same thing, except for one difference. Instead of OL for an ordered list, we use UL for an unordered list. And then we can, go ahead and we can use our control click shortcut to add multiple LIs into our list. So we can just type different things on whatever we think of. Trombone, we can do, red, oven, lamp, hockey. And for the last two, we'll just put stuff. And as you go and you preview now, you should be able to see the difference between UL and OL. So now when we preview, our bulleted UL tag has bullets. Our numbered OL tag has numbers. So that's the general difference right there. You will use both of these types of lists. They both have an application. However, UL is the one that you will use extensively. And UL you use for things that you don't even necessarily think that you would, like site navigation, like a menu bar up at the top of the screen. It is used extensively throughout. All right, the last kind that I will demonstrate for you is the description list. As I told you, the description list is definitely the least useful. So in our format here, our H3 we're going to put is DL. So in this one, what you would have is a term and then you would have a definition. And what happens is when you preview, let me scroll for you here, you see the description list at the bottom of the screen is flush with the left side. The term is indented. So if you were to have like your spelling lists from elementary school or whatever, that would be a reason for having that. So now as it goes, I am going to... Oh, I forgot something though, didn't I? Just like in other things, the description list needs a container tag. As it goes, it kind of worked fine without it. However, we should definitely make sure that we have the container tag. And I like to do this where the DDs are indented. You can have multiple DDs if you wanted to, but as it goes, you would have generally terms that you define and then definitions for each term. Like that. You can just copy paste that. Shouldn't be a big deal. And you can see the product at the very bottom of the screen. So that one is an option for you. However, it is an option we're not necessarily going to use it a lot. So that's lists. As you go and you practice these, I want you to always make sure that you do these in sequence. So let's go ahead and let's put one last unordered list on the screen. One last H3 that says order and I've done this spelling. I've done this many times and you just watched me make a small mistake. As you do this, first off, always do the container tag. So add container first. OL, UL, or DL. That's the wrong type of add. My apologies. And then the other thing that I want you to do is add items then. With the LI. And then as you see from all the tags that you've seen me do, I want you to indent the LIs. So you can very easily see that your OL goes from there to there, and then these are the items inside of that list. All right. As always, please do ask me if you have any questions. This is our next, this is kind of the bigger concept, I suppose. We're starting to expand, but it is an important concept to understand. So if anything doesn't work quite properly, please let me know, and I will help you through.